Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. Follow me on Instagram at Perry Flips with a Z. Flips and Giggles on eBay, and then Flips and Giggles is also our store name on Whatnot, where we do shows every Wednesday night. We will be changing that to Thursdays, I think, in March. So all the shows that we have booked through February will be on Wednesday. And then we're going to move to the Thursday night time slot. So that's what's going on with that. If you like the show, make sure you subscribe, follow, hit the notifications rather, so you don't miss out when a new episode drops. We don't always drop the episode right at the same time. And when I say we, I mean me. It's usually whenever I finish it. It's usually around the same time. Like I'm doing it right now after we do lunchtime, and then my kid rests up in her room for a little bit. So that's what I'm doing now. And then, they come out after that. So another week of reselling. Man, we were supposed to get a snowstorm this past weekend, and we were already buried. I don't know where you're at. If you're in Massachusetts and you already know, or if you're somewhere that got hit with snow, then you already know. But we were supposed to get, they're like predicting like another almost foot on top of what we already had. Man, it was so stressful because I woke up and like I tested all our generator, all that stuff. Every time there's a storm coming up, I always bust out the generator. I'm not great at I should start it more often than I do, but I test it out before the storm comes. I remember to do that much at least. And it's all fucked up. I need to in the spring. My first thing is get that generator tuned up because somehow the gas gauge broke. I have no fucking idea. I'm surprised the thing still even works, but it just basically is to prevent our basement from flooding because we plugged the sump pumps into that. So yeah, we didn't get a ton of snow, which was nice, man. My back was already I work out regularly. I do a lot of stretching, a lot of stretching, strengthening, that type of workout, because I played football, and I'm stiff and shit. When I wake up, I stretch in the morning, I stretch at night, but my back, man, I even had one of those save your back shovels, and there was just so much fucking snow. It was ridiculous the amount of snow that we got. Yeah, I already talked about that last week. But anyway, I was just updating you. We thought we were going to get hit again this past weekend. So Sunday when I got up, which is when it was supposed to start snowing, it was snowing pretty steadily, but not anything crazy. And I kept checking the weather because I'm like, man, is this going to be all day? And the weather just said 1 more hour of snow. And 2 hours later, it was still going. So I checked again, still said 1 more hour of snow. And finally it stopped, and nothing really stuck. I mean, I went out and shoveled once, but I just made cleared up the path I had made for the dog. And yeah, it was, luckily we didn't get hit with snow. I was going to have an estate sale because we've been doing my mom's estate sale on Whatnot. So we've done 3 parts so far. We're just kind of going through the smalls that she had a lot of. And then we did a random, my wife wanted to do a pop-up show last Friday. Was it last Friday or the Friday before? I think it was last Friday. It had to have been last Friday. So she wanted to do a pop-up show. And, oh no, that wasn't last. It was the Friday before. I'm trying to think when this fucking show was. It had to have been the Friday before because my wife was working on Friday. Oh, no, she wasn't. She was off last Friday. Did my wife work this weekend? She did. My God, I can't remember shit. Yeah, my wife was off this week. So it was Friday. So Friday we did an estate sale for my mom's clothes. My wife was like, there's so many clothes. She's like, can we just do a pop-up estate sale, a pop-up clothing sale? And so, we posted it, I think Thursday night, and we got a decent, we did well. We sold 140 things of clothes. Some stuff sold for $1, some stuff sold for like $4 or $5, but there was, people bidding on stuff. So we cleared out a lot of her closet. We still have a ton more clothes left. Like we went through a shitload of clothes. Like the ones that we have left are probably just going to be saved for the estate sale now. Because the ones that we had were more like boho style. And my wife, dude, shout out to my wife, because she probably saved that show. She was like, oh, I follow this girl on Whatnot, and she always does like boho stuff. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's a good keyword, because you got to make sure you're putting keywords and shit and on top of that. So I put that in the title. Sorry, I got zins in right now, so I'm like talking funny. And so I put boho in the title, and I think that helped us get, more people than we initially would have. And so then we've got the jewelry sale coming up tonight. We're doing costume jewelry because my mom had a shitload. Like I took all of her silver and anything marked I took out and made I've got a pile of silver, like so much silver. Most of my mom's shit was silver, but then she had a ton of other like artisan crafted, boho style jewelry. So that's what we're doing tonight. And there's a lot. So I'm excited for that show. Whatnot's been picking up. I've honestly, I know you guys are probably sick of me talking about Whatnot, but that's part of what I've been doing right now. I've not been focusing a ton on eBay. Honestly, I don't have a lot of inventory. Like I have inventory for eBay right now, but a lot of the stuff that I've been selling on eBay, I've been dropping the prices down to like where it's like, well, fuck it. I might as well just throw this into my show. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to get this much for it on eBay, I might get a couple bucks less on Whatnot, but I'm building something over there. Whereas eBay, I'm just like, I get more and more sick of eBay by the day. So yeah, quick update, and then I'll talk more about Whatnot. I said that I had I had 2 returns that were started. I don't know if the third one was started last show, but then I had a 3rd return started. So the first one was like, oh, I sold a PlayStation 3. One of the big ones, too. The fucking pain in the ass ones to ship. Sold it for like $68 or something like that. They got it. And then immediately we're like, oh, this doesn't work. There's the yellow light. Which like is a known issue for PlayStation 3. But I've also... I tested that PlayStation 3. Like I set it up and tested it over a weekend with different games. And everything worked fine. I tested both the... HDMI and the composite. Like I test everything. So I knew this was bullshit. So I'm like, all right. So they started a return, saying it doesn't work, whatever, defective. And don't hear anything from them for like 2 weeks. Which when you do a return, like that's the thing. I don't know why eBay gives people like weeks to return an item. Like if you get a return, it should be 3 days. Return that shit in 3 days. Like you made the decision that quickly, you can send it back that quick. So anyway, this fucker does the return, and then like 2 weeks later they message me like, hey, can you change the return shipping label to FedEx? So I'm like, unfortunately I can't, like I can't do that. Like I could send them their own label, but then they would lose shipping protection, and I would have lost shipping protection. So I just was like, I can't do it. Like they were like, well, I talked to eBay. They said you have to do it. I'm like, well, you're lying because they can't. So I was like, oh, well, can you show me the screenshot of what they said they told you to do? Oh, I talked to them on the phone. Okay, the only time I ever get on the phone with eBay like that is like when I'm the seller and I'm trying. You know what I mean? Like they were full of shit from the beginning. So they just ended up, before I could get back to them, they just shipped it back. It came back USPS. So the box that they sent it in, they didn't even tape it. Like I was like, oh, maybe this tape just broke, but they didn't tape it at all. There was no tape on the fucking box. The box was like a foot longer than the actual console inside the box. So like, and then they didn't put any packaging. So it just came back. It was this heavy ass PlayStation 3 with no packing material, nothing, not a single thing. And they left it untaped. I don't know how it made it back in the box still. Like I'm shocked at that. So I get it back. I take it out. I start inspecting it. before I even like hook it up, I'm like, oh, let me hook it up to make sure it's, they're telling the truth or whatever. Before I could even get that far, I realized that the tamper sticker was completely removed. Like, so I'm like, oh fuck, did I forget to take a picture of that? Like, and they saw that and took advantage of it, because I know like if you fuck up your listings, they can take advantage of your video games. And so, what they so they definitely took the tamper thing off. Like, you could tell it was removed. So they took parts out of the PlayStation and then sent it back and tried to get a refund for it. So on eBay, you're allowed to refund them half the money, which I did, because I'm like, this is bullshit. eBay doesn't let me take off the full amount, which is absolutely retarded. Like, you should be able to, if they fucking do something like that. So then they leave me negative feedback on top of that. That just said, buyer sent me a defective item. I'm like, this is some of the most like the craziest shit ever. So I initially sent a message to eBay on Twitter, because that's how like I've ever gotten anything taken care of. It's usually them, or eventually like having to call and just talk to somebody to like escalate you to the right person. And so I reach out to eBay on Twitter, and they're like, oh, we can't remove the feedback, like, which I knew. I'm like, all right, I didn't know that. Like, I knew that you could get it removed. I'm like, this is bullshit. I know you can get it removed. So in the meantime, I'd already submitted the approval to get it removed, or like the appeal to get it removed. So I got the message back while I was in the middle of texting them telling me that they can't remove it. They're like, that's their experience. We can't like do anything about it. I'm like, but what about my experience? Like, what the, like, at what point do they ever consider like that these are the people that run your platform? I have over 2,000 positive feedback on my account, and this person had 14 feedback. 14, and they hadn't even been on the platform that long, and that's who you're siding with over a seller who's been here for years, making your platform money. So I'm just like, it's just like a culmination of those three. And then I still have the other return. One other return was for a poster that this fucking idiot was like, yeah, you didn't put that there was wear marks or whatever on the poster. There's a million pictures in the listing where you can see. They sent me a picture. I thought it was my exact picture. I'm like, this is the same. This is exactly what's in the listing. Like, and they're gonna get to return it. They're gonna get like, I'm gonna refund them whatever. If it's in the same shape, they'll get the same return. But half the time they don't even package it up properly, and then it comes back fucked up, and I have to, charge them, take a discount out of it. I don't like, just send it back the same way you got it. If you know you're gonna scam me, just keep the same box and throw it back in the same box. But there's no way that wasn't like intentional. The tamper sticker just didn't come off. It wasn't anywhere in the box. At least put it in the box and be like, oh, it fell off in transit. And then they sent it in like a box. It was one of those like those boxes that they send like bulk food in, and it was like frozen soy sticks, which I've never heard of. That sounds fucking disgusting. So yeah, it's annoying. So, but then the next return, yeah, that was the poster, and then I got a third return. I think I already said this one too, but it was for a North Face vest. A $20 North Face vest from like the 90s. It was an old vest. And the first message, they were like, hi, this doesn't fit. Sorry, I'm going to have to return it. And before I could get to it, it was like on a Sunday. So Sundays typically, I don't like, especially if my wife's working, like I won't respond to a message until either that night or the next morning. And so the first thing the next morning, had a message from them. Hey, I don't think I should have to pay return shipping on this because this wasn't in the condition that you said it was in the listing. Okay, so you got it. You know you're not going to wear it, and now all of a sudden the condition is an issue because you think you're going to have to pay for the return shipping. So so I sent them a message back. I was like, hey, just so you're aware for future reference, the photos show the condition clearly. It was as described, and also you already said it doesn't fit, so just return it for the reason that it doesn't fit. So they did that. So we'll see what kind of condition that comes back in. But half the time people buy clothes and you could tell that they wore them. It'll come back with like cologne smell. I'm like, this wasn't on there before. Like, you wore this out. So yeah, 3 returns in a row will get you really annoyed with eBay. So I haven't really been posting a ton on eBay. I'm hoping that I can start getting some more inventory. It's getting closer to spring. I'm going to post. I've never posted on my actual personal Facebook before. I used to post my businesses all the time when I first started. I talked about this a little bit, but I had like the East to West bartending where I was like, oh, you just give people a card. And then I had East to West Street Meet, which I actually did do all the like permitting, all that shit. And like I did all the permitting, all of it, booked a weekend. We did a comic book event. It was a big comic book sale in Olympia, Washington at this big comic book store. And she was like, I was like, hey, can I set up outside for your event? Like, and I'll sell food. Like I got permits, this, that, and the other. So I did it. It went well. People loved the food. And then I did another setup like the next day, and it was in the rain. It was cold. And I was like, I don't want to do this. And I just decided, like, it didn't matter how much time I had put into it. It was like, I just don't want to do this. I'm not going to waste my time. Like, I thought it would be fun. I liked some aspects of it, but then like the other aspects, I was like, I don't want to do this. And I stopped doing it. And then I did I spent a year getting my real estate license while I was working at the cell phone place, which I wish I had found out about reselling or thought about reselling when I was at that job. I would be in such a better place with it. But that's neither here nor there. We're where we're at, where we're supposed to be. But anyway, so I spent like a year doing my real estate license and then just fucking hated it. Like I spent the whole day on the phone while I was out with my wife. She was my girlfriend, I think at the time, or fiance, I don't remember. And yeah, like I knew how much money I was going to make on selling stuff, but I'm like, I don't want, like, that's just not, I'm not about spending time doing stuff that I'm not into. And I'm sorry if I've said this before. I told this story before, this time of the year, just kind of is what it is. You got to take it for what it is. And I keep thinking back. I do really think that I'm going to start another podcast. This one's still going to be going for sure, but I want to do a game show type podcast for resellers. I've talked about it before, but I don't know if I've said it all the way, but it's going to be called Hindsight. That's the working title. And my idea will be, I'll be the host. I'll get 2 like YouTube resellers, which I've kind of come in contact with a couple of them just through Whatnot. They're easier to get a hold of on Whatnot than they are on other platforms. And here's the idea of the show. Okay, in case anybody tries to steal it, it'll be on this podcast. This podcast is what, February 4th? So on February 4th, 2026, I'm telling you my idea. So Hindsight, I'm the host, 2 other resellers, YouTubers, whatever. And that's the panel. And then other sellers, smaller sellers, just the regular Joe, you, me, whoever, send in videos of their story. So they tell their most painful, like hindsight is 2020 reselling moment. So whether that's, somebody told you about a sale and you didn't think it was worth it, so you didn't, get out of bed in time and you showed up 5 minutes late, watched somebody walk out with a bunch of inventory for $20, or you didn't buy something because you didn't think it was worth it and it ended up being worth a lot of money. So, anything like that. You drove a bunch of miles to go look at some shit and it just didn't pan. Anything like painful that you experience as a reseller. Because the show's going to be about commiserating with other resellers, and nobody really understands reseller pain quite like other people who are involved in the space. Because you got people that tell you get a real job and that you're scammers and that this, that, and the other. So I think it'll be fun. And I'm trying to figure out how to do it. My camera should be in the next couple weeks. Just working out finances. I know which one I'm getting. I just got to figure out, pay a couple other things off. We're almost there. And then, get video going on this podcast. I told you guys in January I was going to try to like start retooling things and try to, focus on the podcast and figure out how to make it better. And I think that this podcast will benefit from that podcast and vice versa. But it'll be fun. I think I'm trying to think of like if we can do prizes, but each week it'll be a new panel, new resellers. And then like the people who come in will, it'll rotate whoever sends in stories. Eventually it'll be behind a paywall. But probably not. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know how paywalls work. Maybe an uncensored version. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm really just kind of spitballing and brainstorming. I spent a lot of time like working on my podcast media kit yesterday, and by a lot of time I spent like 15 minutes with AI utilizing that shit. So yeah, it'll be a work in progress. I don't know when it'll come out. I want to get going on it sooner rather than later. So I think as soon as I get my good camera set up and, figure out how to get everything going and I can get more organized. I'm supposed to meet up with my buddy. We've got my mom has like her celebration of life that we're doing at the end of the month. So I have a couple friends that I haven't seen in a while that do this type of stuff. So I'm going to talk to them and be like, listen, man, just fucking help me get this thing off the ground. I've got everything ready to go. I just need this, and this. So that's where I'm at with that stuff. Yeah. So Hindsight, a reseller podcast, keep your eye out for that. And if somebody tries to steal that idea, tell them you fucking heard it here first. Because yeah, I'm going to get that thing going and, yeah. So I'm already starting to reach out to like a couple YouTubers. I know a couple that I'm like on first name basis with from Whatnot. So I'm going to start with them and be like, hey, you talk to whoever like they know more people than I do. So I just got to get in there, which I already got the in. And then, yeah, just go from there and see how it goes. So you heard it here first. New podcast coming soon, already getting developed. So I just got to start getting guests and get people to submit their stories. And I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a good idea. So I'll start like promoting that too on Whatnot probably tonight. Yeah, so tonight we have a Whatnot show, costume, jewelry, like artisan, that type of stuff. They've been fun. I've got to tell you, I've getting more and more into doing the Whatnot shows. I'm not as nervous when we first start. I'm not kind of like, when I first started, I'm like, what the fuck do I do? So yeah, we're just going every week. We're trying to we're trying to do some pop-ups. We might do a pop-up on Sunday, but Mr. Beast has his Whatnot show on Sunday. I don't know if you've heard about this, but Mr. Beast is getting into Whatnot, and he's got a show. People are like, is this real? I haven't even seen Mr. Beast post about it, but it's his page. There's like 60,000 bookmarks for his show. And it's supposed to be like $1 million in giveaways on Super Bowl Sunday. So I'm not going to go try to compete with that, but I might do a show before. Do like football cards, but I don't know. Cards make me nervous. I have the stuff to sell it and like the, the penny sleeves and that stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then, yeah, we're out of January, man. January is the hardest month. You got to that shit drags. I was going to say, I want to do a podcast. I want to do an estates, like an in-person estate sale. We were trying to get it done because we got people coming into town for my mom's thing. And we wanted to get it done before that's happening. But there's just so much snow, like where we park all our cars in our front. We've got plenty of parking. Even our neighbors would let us use their parking spots. But there's just so much snow. Like it's not melting because it's not been sunny enough. It was warm the other day and a little bit of it melted, but it's just been so fucking cold. So I'm kind of bummed. I wanted to do one, so it might probably be in March when we do it. We're just trying to get that space cleared out. It's weird because I'm not like, I know people get sentimental about shit. I kept a couple things that I really, would like to keep to remember my mom by, but like the clothes, all that shit, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with these? Even the jewelry, like there's just so much. I kept a couple things and I put it aside. I was like, hey, can you just keep these? Like, there's stuff my wife would wear, and I was like, it's stuff that would remind me of her. So here, take these. But there's just so much shit. It's like when you go to estate sales and they're like, I don't want to sell that. That was this. It's like, what are you doing with it? Like I went to a sale Saturday, and I only had $30 on me. I didn't know it. Nothing in the pictures looked like it was going to be worth it. I didn't get there early like I normally do. It was like 10 minutes up the road. And I had a feeling I would see this guy that I know. And so I walked in. He was already there. So he probably grabbed like, a couple things I might have grabbed, but it wasn't like anything. I probably didn't miss out on anything. But they had like a bunch of bins of Afghans. And so I was like, hey, how much are you asking on your Afghans? And she was like, I don't know if those are for sale. I got to ask my mom. She's here. Hold on, let me go find her. And she's like, those are her grandmother's or some shit. And so she's like, how many did you want? I was like, oh, I'd buy them all, depending on the price. She's like, well, are you buying them to sell? And I was like, yeah, I would be, buying them to resell. So she goes and tells the mom, like, oh, he's buying them, but he's buying them to sell. So at that point, I was like, all right, these prices are going to be like $20 a piece or something fucking ridiculous. And I was just more looking for the education. I've seen that they do well. There was enough to even do like maybe a small whatnot. But like, yeah, I didn't even wait for her price. It wasn't something I really was interested in, like, haggling over. And then I remembered, I was like, oh shit, you only have $30 on you right now. I always go, like, if I forget money and I go and I'm like, that's the worst. And I'm like, I'm not bad about that. Like, I usually have money when I'm going to a sale. When it was a sale like that, when I'm like, I don't know if I even want anything, then it's like, and then I go and I see something, I'm like, shit, I should have brought some money. But, at the end of the day, it wasn't, I guarantee you her prices were going to be pretty up there. And she only had one bin that she was willing to part with anyway. It was like 2 Afghans in there. So I was like, I'm not really trying to do all that. I'll just wait. There's a couple sales this weekend and my wife is off. So that's always a great combination. I don't have my babysitter anymore. My mom used to take my kids when I would go to yard sales. So that part is kind of shitty. My kids are going to have to go to all the yard sales with me. But I don't know. My cousin is going to watch them this weekend. So she's, my cousin's older. She's like, was a few years younger than my mom. But she comes into town like every week to see her daughter who lives like 20 minutes from me. So she was like, oh, I can watch your kids on Saturday night if you guys want to get a date night. So me and my wife have a date night on Saturday for the first time in a long time. Yeah, we don't even know what to do on date nights anymore. I want to do karaoke, but our babysitter's coming at like 5:30, so I don't think we're going to even, I don't know what her timeline's going to be. You know what I mean? We're used to my mom, who's our babysitter, who would be like calling us at 10 o'clock, like, where are you? Like, I don't know, like, out. We just left at 8:30. So, that'll be fun. Yeah, we definitely need to get out. Feeling a lot better. After my mom died, it was just, you get like, it's not, you can't even like control it. You're just sad, and it's like, you just feel it through your whole body. It's weird. I don't know. I've like, I'm to the point now where, I was randomly just like crying throughout the day. I'd think of something. Now the thing that gets me is my kids, because my kids are like starting to realize like, oh, she's not coming. Like my youngest is always talking about her. She's like, oh, remember when, we did this? Can we go do that with Gigi? I'm like, well, she's gone. So I had to say that last night. I had to be like, Gigi's dead, baby. She's not coming back. Like, so that's been the one thing that's been kind of shitty. I mean, not the one thing, but like, that's just been the hardest probably thing. But yeah, just feeling better. I've been going to bed a little bit earlier. I was staying up, the last 2 nights, actually, I went to bed, like when my wife went to bed for work, on 2 nights ago, she didn't even have work, but I was so tired. I just was like, I usually fight it. I'm like, all right, let's just watch one more show. But I just went to bed at like 10, and then I went to bed last night, like 10:45, 11. And, yeah, I feel a lot better. Cause I'm like, I've got the show on Wednesday. Like, why the fuck am I staying up? I've been up playing Helldivers 2. I don't know if you play video games, but Helldivers 2 it came out like a couple years ago, and I was hesitant to get it because it's all online. Like you have to play it online. You can't play. There's no. So like you could play it by yourself, but you have to play it online. You know what I mean? And it's really not fun playing by yourself. Like at first I was like, oh, I wanted to play by myself. I just constantly would play by myself. And then now that I'm better and I could kind of hold my own with other people, I'm like, I have to play with other people. So I don't even have a mic. I'm not like on a mic. Most people don't have mics. There's like one every once in a while. But it's always weird when there's one person with a mic and nobody else. But they make it pretty easy to communicate without it. And like I could turn my mic on, but I'm like, I don't want to. You know what I mean? I'm just here to fucking kill some shit and blow off some steam. So I've got to get better about not staying up too late. It's going to be hard tonight because we've got the whatnot. And then, you know, I try to unwind after for a little bit. So that's why the move to Thursday I think will help. You know, my wife is off every other Thursday as opposed to she works every Wednesday. Like Wednesday's the one day she works every week. So, yeah, it'll be better going to bed earlier for sure. I feel better. You know, we've got all like the financial stuff. Like I think I've closed all her credit cards. So I've been on top of that. Trying to switch the car over, which is a pain in the ass because she owed like $3,500 on the car, and the car is worth like $17,000. Like it's only got 47,000 miles on it. So we were like, well, fuck it, let's just pay the car off. So we paid the car off and got the title, got all the paperwork we needed. I talked to the insurance, got the car. Like, yeah, they have to stamp the insurance to say that the car is insured, all that shit. So then I went down to the RMV, and they're like, well, do you have like the sheet that tells you that you're the power of attorney, this, that, and the other? I was like, no, I didn't realize that I needed that. I'm the only one, whatever. So like, you have to get that. So I called the lawyer I'd already talked to, and she's like, oh yeah, I was waiting for you to call me back about such and such because you're supposed to go to this place. You have to send this letter in or some shit. Or I had to go to the probation court. And so I'm like, no, she'd never fucking told me that. So I went to the courthouse, which was like a half hour away, which is the same place that the RMV is. But of course, I have to go to the courthouse, wait, and then come back. But when I was leaving the courthouse, man, I forgot how crazy courthouses can be. There was this chick just in the lobby as I was walking out to the car, and she's just sobbing, like screaming, like, these motherfuckers, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm like, walk by her, and I'm like trying to get out of there. And I start to go out the door, and I see somebody walking behind me. So I just always hold the door. Like, I don't want the door to smash into somebody's face. So I hold the door, and I look up, and it's this fucking lady, and she just like blows by me and, you know, in hysterics. And she seems like the type that was probably like, you know, her fault or whoever she was there for's fault. You know what I mean? Like, oh, these motherfuckers. It's like, well, is it them or is it you? Because you seem like you're kind of a problem. So she just like stormed out, just sobbing. And I was like, I wanted her to be away from me. So I had to like slow down because like I didn't want to be behind her in the parking lot. And yeah, it was just a whole... I forgot how fucking crazy it is. So anyway, I go to them, and they're like, yeah, you have to submit this. So I submit this paperwork, and they're like, yeah, you have to pay a money order. So then I have to go to the bank, get the money order, come back to the courthouse. It's a whole fucking thing. So then I have to send that in, wait till that comes back. Then I have to redo the insurance because I had to take the car off the insurance because it can't be insured because it's not registered. It's such a fucking, so fucking annoying. So now we're waiting for the thing to come back from the court that says that I can be the one to get the car. And then we got to go back to the insurance, or I got to call the insurance and then go back to fucking RMV. And then hopefully this nightmare will be done. Because I think that's the last thing. Oh, we got to do her taxes too. Yeah, there's so much shit you got to do when somebody dies. You got to do her taxes. So I got to find all her tax shit. And then if she owes taxes, that money's got to come out of the estate. So hopefully she doesn't owe money. Our tax guy's pretty good. So we'll see what he says. So yeah. Getting there. New podcast stuff coming. Video. I've been saying it, but it's coming. It's got it. That's the next logical step. If I don't get video, I'm not going to keep growing. And we've seen a nice little growth. I've been getting more people on my Facebook. So I think I'm going to focus a little bit more on putting Facebook Reels, try to get monetized on Facebook. I'm not trying to be like a content creator, but like if I'm creating content, I might as well get paid for it. Um, so yeah, I'm doing my social media marketing class right now. So this is like the only class that I've actually been like, oh, this is stuff I don't know yet. So I've been paying attention in this class. Um, yeah, I'm excited for school to be done. If I said that, I'm like, I got this semester and then one more semester and I'm done. I'm done in the fall. And they keep asking me, do you want to transfer? Do you want to keep going? I'm like, no, I don't even want to finish. I honestly don't, but I'm going to. So anyway, what else? See, I went to that estate sale Saturday. That was kind of a bust. Still looking for storage units, but I mean, the ones that come up that look like they're worth it, just they go for too much money. Super Bowl is this Sunday, so that's exciting. I sold a couple Patriots things like leading up. I got my Drake May card. I told you guys about that. That was a ridiculous negotiation. Oh my god! But it came and actually is in like perfect condition, so I think I'm gonna get it graded. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's what's been going on. Let me pull up my phone here because I'm I have some topics that I put up here just in case I run out of steam, which it appears that I'm doing right now. Oh, okay. So this is a good one to talk about. So we talk about like moral dilemmas and stuff on this show. You know, as resellers, you know, you come into certain situations where you're like your morals kind of come into play, and you got to choose whether you want to be a scumbag or be a good person. But that also happens in life. And so I was out. I took my kids. It was Saturday, and it was supposed to snow on Sunday. So I was like, we got to get out of the house. Like, and we've got a birthday party coming up at like this indoor playground in a couple weeks. So I was like, we're not going to go there. Every time we go there, we get sick, by the way. Every fucking time. Because it's not like a big one. It's a smaller one. And it's just, you know, just kids running around, you know, snotty and God knows what. So I was like, I'm not going to take them there. But there's like an arcade bowling alley that's not too far. There's an arcade bar right up the street that has not opened yet. They've been talking about it for like 2 years. Another restaurant announced like 6 months ago, and they're already in the space and open. I know they like did everything from the ground up and had to do like a lot of building, and they've got like a whole retro look they're going for the arcade bar. So I'm excited for it. It's just taken so long. So anyway, so I was like, you know, we'll go to this arcade. It's like an arcade bowling alley. I'm like, oh, we'll go there, and that'll be what we'll do for the day. We'll just do the games. The kids never finish bowling. Never. Like, they'll play for a couple rounds, and then they're like, I'm done. And it's expensive as shit to bowl. Like, more expensive than it should be. Every time I go to pay for bowling, I'm like, what? We went with our neighbors. It was me, my wife, it's a husband and wife, and their 3 kids. One was a baby, so she's not even playing, like doing the bowling. And then my 2. So it was like two and 2 kids, basically. 2 kids, 2 adults. And it was like, we split it. We paid $57 for our half, just for bowling. And they paid like another $57 just for bowling. We did 2 games on 2 lanes. It was almost $120 to go bowling. So I'm like, I'm not paying for it. And it's candlepin bowling, which is the gayest type of bowling. If you ever bowled candlepin, it's like I don't even know if they have it anywhere other than Massachusetts, but they're like skinny pins, and the balls are like a little bit smaller than a softball. Yeah, maybe, a little bit smaller than a softball. And like, unless you have perfect, I've been doing it for years, not like regularly, but I still cannot figure out how to get this fucking thing to do what you want it to do. Like, I'd have to watch a video on how to bowl candlepin because it's ridiculously hard. Like, I prefer the big balls with the holes. I bowl curved, so I can curve the ball, and like, I like to do that. And it's easier to pick up pins. But candlepin, it just sucks. And to pay that much money to do shitty bowling, it's. Yeah. So I was like, we're not going to do that. We're going to go to the arcade, just do the arcade. Like they've got a play till you win one at the end. So I was like, all right, we're gonna do games first because my girls, that's all they want to do is go try to get prizes. It's like we're gonna do games first, and then we'll do prizes at the end. So as soon as we walk up to like it was like the Space Invader game, we go to walk up to the Space Invader game, and I see a purse hanging on the chair, and so I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to bring this up to the main people because it's a purse. I'm not gonna go through it. I'm not gonna, I'm not a scumbag. But then I saw it was Juicy Couture. And I honestly, I might sound like a scumbag here, but I didn't bring the purse up, and I'll tell you why. Any other brand I probably would have done, like Louis Vuitton, Dooney Board, like the expensive brands, even like shitty, like no name brands. If it's just a bag without a name on it, I probably would have brought it up to the front. But Juicy Couture, Juicy Couture is like, it's a known brand for like hood rats and like chicks who wear hoop earrings when they shouldn't be wearing hoop, like those type of chicks. So all I could picture was me walking up, like, we were literally there in less than 5 minutes. So all I could picture was me taking this purse in the 2 foot, like it's not even that far. We weren't even that far from the main thing. And I was picturing walking up and some lady coming around the corner and just starting to scream at me for stealing her Juicy Couture purse. And like all I could think was like, man, no good deed goes unpunished. And that's any other situation I probably would have brought it up, but I just pretended like I didn't see it. I'm probably gonna look like a scumbag. I'm probably gonna get shit for this, but I just didn't. I was like, I saw the day going south. I was like, it's a small place. I'll keep an eye on it, and then eventually somebody brought it up to the management, but I wasn't gonna be the one to walk up. I just got there. I'm like, fuck, man. Of course it was a Juicy Couture purse. Like, I could just picture somebody with her kid named Hennessy following her. That's an actual, we went to a bowl, like, we used to bowl all the time, me and my wife. We would, like, bowl regularly. And we were at a bowling alley, and this lady was calling for her kids, and she was like, come here, Hennessy. She had a child named Hennessy. So I got flashbacks to that. I pussied out, not my most chivalrous moment, not my proudest moment. I didn't steal the purse, at least, that would have been I think that would have been worse if I'd just taken it and walked out with it. But if it was any other brand, man, Juicy Couture just, I know I'm not saying it right. I'm saying it wrong on purpose, but yeah, if you've ever met somebody who rocks Juicy Couture, like they're never classy and they're never understanding. So I just pictured my poor 2 little girls like hiding behind me as some lady with hoop earrings and her fucking hair plastered to her forehead screaming at me to fucking give her purse back. So I pussied out. I'm not gonna lie. Again, not my proudest moment, but it's what happens. Shit happens. You got to make moral decisions, and whatever. I recently joined a Discord for raid trains, so that's I'm hoping to get on more raid trains on Whatnot. That's how you grow, collaborate with other sellers. I'm really bad at networking. That's what I'm trying to work on, is getting better at networking. I never know what to say when you're trying, like, what's like a good way to enter a conversation with somebody. I know Gary Vee's like, yeah, tell them about what value you bring, but like most of these people, what value am I bringing? You know what I mean? So that's like the that part that I have to figure out. That's the part I need to figure out. I don't know why I was just talking about that, but whatever. We got donuts the other day, and I was just thinking about this. I don't know if Boston cream must be everywhere. They must have Boston cream donuts like nationwide. Like I don't think that's just a Boston thing, but it's a commitment when you eat a Boston cream donut, man. It's like a donut filled with pudding. I was thinking about getting one the other day. I don't get we don't get donuts a ton, but occasionally when my wife is working and I gotta force my kids to go out to do a car ride, I'll be like, let's just get some donuts. And I was gonna get a Boston cream, but I'm like, that is like such a commitment. And then you just feel like this bowl of fucking pudding and cream in your tummy, and I don't know. I just thought I had to bring that up. That Boston cream donuts are a commitment, and it's fucking. I don't know. I don't know why I brought that up. Again, it's the time of the year where there's not much to talk about reselling wise. Not much. Let's see. Blocked user. Oh, the Epstein files came out. We can talk about the Epstein files. I don't know too much about it. I mean, I know it's a lot of black names, not black like not black people, but like blacked out names. I don't know enough about it. I mean, I know it's been in the news constantly. I just don't know like what we're hoping to gain by it. Again, I'm all for like sticking it to the man and this, that, and the other, but I don't think anybody ever has a plan for like what that entails. I was like thinking about, I'm like, what if it's just a big distraction? You know what I mean? Like the whole Epstein thing is just like a distraction. Like it doesn't actually, it's like a whole thing that they made up while people are like, asking why their grocery prices aren't going down and why we're still constantly at war and why our healthcare sucks. I'm still getting fucking bills for my mom the night she died in the hospital. They keep sending bills. It's like, you guys, essentially she died there. Like, why are you still sending me bills? Like, it's fucking crazy. They just keep sending you bills. And the amount of money that they charge, like my mom had insurance, so it was all covered, but the amount of money that they're charging for the stuff it's like, what the fuck, dude? There's no way this shit should cost this much. No fucking way. Like once the machines are paid for, doctors have their salary, that shit should not be that expensive. But yeah, the Epstein files. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what comes of it. I'm sure it's everybody you thought was on it. And it's funny, I saw like Bill Gates and he was like trying to describe like why he was on there, and it's just like the worst reason ever. It's like something about like he put an email to him, but it was never sent. He's like, yeah, he never sent the email. Like, what? Anyway, I don't really want to talk about that. I thought I did, but I don't really know enough about it. It's, to me it's just another distraction. They're just like, here's this, and keep you distracted with this for a while. Something you're not going to be able to do anything about anyway. Because like, what's the end game? You know what I mean? What the fuck is the end game for that? We all march in the streets like we've been doing, or some of us, not me, some of us. Yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Let's see, reselling related. We got like 13 more minutes till we have hit an hour. That's pretty good. We get to the last like 15 minutes and then the show derails. That's not bad. Let's see. There's nothing else that I really have. I've been doing those mushroom chocolates. Like here or there, I'll eat like a little square when I'm just trying to chill. But I haven't done like as many as I did that time where I was fucking seeing colors and shit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say for 12 minutes. So I'm just going to cut it short because it's that time of year. Check out the show tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So that's like 5:30 Pacific and then whatever Central fucking bullshit time. Costume jewelry, like boho artisan style. And then, this podcast will be out today. So make sure you check that out. Tell your friends. And we're episode 95 today, I think. I'm pretty sure 95. So 5 more episodes to the 100th episode. I got to think of something to do. I don't know what to do yet. So that's why I'm like partially trying to reach out to other resellers too, to be like, hey, can you help me out with like an event? So we'll see how that goes. Flips and Giggles on Facebook. Follow the Facebook page. I'm trying to get that built up. Follow me on Instagram, Perry Flips with a Z. And then, Flips and Giggles on Whatnot. And check out that show tonight. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications on the podcast so that way you never miss when it comes out. And, have a good week. And hopefully there's some more shit to talk about next week. And, go Patriots. If you're rooting for the Seahawks, I'm sorry for you. But they just don't have it. I'm sorry. I've seen them play. They don't have it. Patriots do. We're not going to win by 1 million, but we're going to win. You heard it here first. All right. that's the podcast. Thanks for showing up and hanging out every week. I appreciate it. If you're a fan of the show, I really, really, really appreciate it, and I appreciate you listening every week. And yeah, if you like the show, reach out and tell me. Because I like validation. All right, that's the show, and I'll talk to you next week.